self-made gets thrown around very casually today. But behind every so-called overnight success is years of risk, reinvention, and resilience.
Our next conversation is about exactly that, what it takes to build a career, a brand, and an identity entirely on your own terms. To moderate this conversation, please welcome Kunal Purandare to the stage. And joining him are two actors who have built remarkable careers across industries, genres, and platforms entirely on their own terms. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a huge round of applause, Bhumi Pednekkar and Tamannaah Bhatia.
We have with us two stars who have created a distinct identity for themselves with their craft, path-breaking choices, and a go-getter attitude. Thank you so much, Bhumi and Tamannaah, for being here. I'll start with you, Bhumi. You completed a decade in the Hindi film industry last year.
I know. It's been a decade already.
But you've been a risk taker right from the beginning. For your first film, Dam Laga Ke Haisha, you put on 24 kilos. It's, for a debut film, actresses like to look glam and fab, but your character of Sandhya was anything that a typical Hindi film heroine isn't. A small town girl, married, overweight. Is it in your DNA to defy norms and challenge yourself? Has that been your go-to mantra right from the beginning?
Honestly, when I started my career, I didn't really have a choice. All I ever wanted to do was be an actor, and when I was given the opportunity, yes, I gained weight. If somebody would have told me chop off a finger, I would have done that too, because it's very, very rare for opportunities like so to come your way. I think I got very lucky with my first film, and I realized that there's a lot of power in performance, there's a lot of power in content-heavy cinema, and a lot of roles like so weren't written at that time. And I think I kind of realized that, okay, it was also my strategy, because I realized it's a great way for me to create a space for myself which will give me longevity. And that's exactly what I did. I think I also have a lot of activism and advocacy in me as a human being. I think the roles that I choose are a natural. I naturally resonate with them because I truly feel that cinema is a very powerful tool. And it has the ability to reach out to so many people when used the right way. So entertainment to me is very, very important. But if it can have some sort of a positive impact, I think that is more satisfying to me. And that's pretty much been my journey. And in many ways, my strategy, my formula, because I love what I do, man. I want to be doing this for the rest of my life. And I just hope that I keep challenging myself, keep breaking the glass ceiling, keep breaking every boundary that I've created for myself over the years.
Tamannaah, you already had an astonishing 2-decade career. You're from Mumbai, the home to the film industry, Hindi film industry. But you created a niche for yourself down south, starring in some of the biggest blockbusters in Tamil and Telugu cinema. Bahubali, of course, changed the trajectory of your career. It was a bold decision given the language barrier and the unfamiliar terrain. Did you always believe it yourself, or was it just about latching onto every opportunity that you got? Or is it just that you're a person who likes to go against the grain?
Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing? Good. I'm really excited I'm here tonight, and I'm very excited that I'm sharing it with someone I admire, adore. She's an actor. I've always loved her work, always get inspired whenever I see any of her work. And I feel everything in retrospect looks like you did well, and it's a good decision. At the time when Bahubali was being made, it was a Telugu film with a 200 crore budget. It was actually, a straight way to failure if you thought of it from a strategic point of view. But I think with the movies and a creative business, it's all about one person thinking that whether anybody else thinks this is right or wrong, they think that this is the only way it should be. And that's why Bahubali was made as a Telugu film and meant to be consumed by the entire nation. And I feel like that's where the whole pan-India conversation even started to begin with. I've just been a person who's obsessed with trying to perform. I was that irritating kid in a party who said, "मैं solo performance करूँगी." So my obsession for wanting to perform led me to, just like how Bhumi said, take on every opportunity that came my way initially, because for someone who's not from the film industry or doesn't have any connection, the only way is to see what you're getting and make that the best opportunity. And oddly enough, while I kept working, I also realized that it is still the only strategy, that not that any opportunity is a great opportunity or that is a great opportunity, or yes, there are better combinations than others because ours is a very collective art form unlike any other. So yes, there are better opportunities than the other, but I still feel like at the end it's what you're going to make out of the opportunity. And in my career, what's worked for me is everything that I thought, oh God, this is going to be terrible, that ended up becoming like a big thing. So
I think that happens with all of us.
All of us, right? Like
every time I was told by people around, "Ye mat karna, no, this film is a big mistake," it has turned out to be the best decision I've taken for myself. Because instinctively we just know. But I also have to share a fun anecdote. So Tamannaah and I both are from Bombay, and our schools are in Juhu, this area. I mean, everybody over here obviously knows Juhu. So when she got a film, because I was I think 12 or 13 when I told my mom ki main to actor banungi. Then there was this girl called Tamannaah Bhatia, because we both are similarly aged. Okay, I think 9th or 10th you got your film? Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, there's a girl who's from the school next door who is already acting, and it was such a big thing in all of our circles. I don't think we've ever spoken about it, but I just remember, I was like, it was such a big topic of discussion that somebody that we all went to tuitions with, 6 degrees of separation, you know them. I was like, acting? It was a very big deal. I have to tell you, Juhu was on fire.
I will tell you one thing. The only hardest part of being in school and wanting to act is I had colored hair, and anybody who's all women will associate, I had to hide my color with hair oil. So that was my school life, and here we are.
But Tamannaah, as an outsider, is it easier to, say, break into the southern film industry compared to Bollywood?
Honestly, I'm scared to even say this, but when I actually started working down south, I didn't even know there's a South Indian film industry. I grew up on Hindi movies, and I got a call from my first film's producer, my first South film. Actually, my first film was a Hindi film, just for information. My first South film, it came to me when I was giving my 10th board examinations. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. And I don't know if it was easier or more difficult, because I was giving my boards and I also needed to take a meeting for work. So I was like, wow, this is the kind of problems I want in my life. And so I made many more of those problems.
But coming from non-film families, it is quite brave of you all to, stick to your guns and go the full throttle. Because at the end of the day, it is an industry which keeps changing. It's not easy to adapt and survive for so long. It is still male-dominated. I want to know from both of you all, what has gone behind making the successful, self-made women that you all are? And what have your experiences been vis-a-vis the star kids?
Should I go first? I think for me, honestly, there were certain events in my life that happened that really kind of rocked the boat for me. When I started my career, for me, success was also survival. I had to make that money. I needed the film to be a success. I was just trying to do my best because there was an entire ecosystem that I was supporting, and this is the real truth of it. I'm very lucky that I get to do it. I get to do something that I love. I wake up every day and I get to go on a film set. I'm one of those rare people that had an opportunity of doing this by following their passion. But for me, success is survival, and it still is. And I don't think that ever stops, because with this attitude, my hunger doesn't ever stop. if when people ask me what is your ultimate goal, I actually don't have an answer because I don't know what my ultimate goal is. I have clarity about one thing, that I want to be a good human being. I think the definition of that kind of varies for everybody. You know, spirituality is a very big part of what I do. As I said, my advocacy, my activism is a very big part of what I do. And I know where I want to reach with that. But where do I want to reach with success? I don't really know. And how do you survive it? You know, you don't really... There's no formula. Your only formula is be authentic. Be your most real self, especially today. And I've learned this from mistakes that I have made in the past as well. And I own up to them and I'm very vocal about them. Today, more than ever, there's nothing more precious than authenticity. Because the world is so fake. Everything is a made-up narrative. Everything is manufactured. In that fake world, how do you kind of stay true to who you are, what your belief system is, what your moral compass is? And there are so many people that will constantly tell you, no, 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 you're wrong, do this way. Because following a formula or following a path that has been walked on is very easy. Doing something that hasn't been done scares people, especially as women. If you're a woman that's walking your own path, you're going to scare the society. And they will constantly try and push you into a corner. They'll constantly try and box you. But coming out victorious from that box is what gives me fire. And I think film after film, I think that's what I've seeked and that's what's worked and that's my strategy, that's my formula. And for any non-film kid, I think I would just tell them, find that niche, because there is nothing bigger than the power of performance. We are actors, this world is to act, and any sort of performance. If you're a dancer and that's what you ace at, or whatever your strength is, play to your strengths, because there'll be nobody like you.
Tamannaah?
Actually forgot your question.
What has gone behind making...
Little taken over by Bhumi's words.
What has gone behind the making of the self-made women that you are, and what has your experience been vis-a-vis the star kids?
I think I am generally a committed person. I commit to anything and then I go all the way. Not sort of... I don't judge then that what's going to come my way. And I think what I did was... Success was not something that, of course, came immediately. But I knew I'm going to enjoy doing this every day. And I just kept doing it. And then there was one day it worked. I don't know how different... I guess there are different pressures on actors who are from the film industry. But I guess the difference is I did not get a chance to prep. My prep was on location. My prep was on a film set. I had to learn a new language. In fact, I had to learn 2 new languages because I chose to work in the South. And Tamil and Telugu were languages I didn't come to me naturally. I took the long road. I did not do any shortcuts. I think that's something that I did. I never took shortcuts. I always took the longer cut. But that helped me sustain. Like, I think 20 years happens only when you don't take shortcuts. Thank you. It's just, I think that happens because you don't take shortcuts and you don't be like, chalta hai. That chalta hai attitude was not there. I think there is this thing of, you don't have to always, if there's anything that I would tell anybody about my journey, I would just say one thing, that you can't keep, sort of, kind of trying to wait for that perfect opportunity, because it doesn't really exist. And you can't keep thinking you will prep, because that's another form of procrastination. I think the one thing you need to do is just dive into whatever you do and then just execute it, because in that process you realize what you were supposed to do in the first place. So I just kept diving into the job. And to be honest, many times I committed to jobs I had no clue how to do. But I would be like, I can do this. Horse riding, yeah, I'll do horse riding. Yeah, I'm a warrior. Yes, I will take a sword and I will fight. I knew none of that. Actually knew none of it. But I went for it because I felt like the only way to learn something is to do it.
Yes, as both of you all said, the scrutiny on actresses is intense and the pressure enormous. Bhumi, you face a lot of body shaming after you put on weight for Dam Laga Ke Haisha, and even after that. Did that take a toll on you, and how did you keep your personal sanity in the face of such disparaging remarks?
It's not about being actors, Kunal. Women in general are constantly picked on, commented on, because you can be big, small, tall, short, anything. You're never meeting a beauty standard that has been set by men. So now I'm too immune to it. I really don't care. I'm like, you can have thousands of comments about me, but my body has to carry me for many, many decades more. And I'm not going to let any of that objectification, negativity affect me. Because I am yet to have kids. I am yet to, I don't know, there's so much more I want to do with my life. I've barely done anything, and I'm not going to let any silly opinions come my way. And I think I've kind of always stood for that. And I have to tell you, it's not easy. It's tough. You have to constantly keep rebuilding yourself and telling yourself that, no, you are better than all this conversation and noise around you. And especially, again, I keep coming back to the internet. You see the level of trolling, bullying, just the kind of stuff that goes on. Because especially if you're a public figure, you're dehumanized. You know, they forget that there is a human being on the other side who has a family, a mother, you know, friends that get affected by all the crap that you talk because you're a frustrated human being. So as you can see, I really don't care at this point. And I'm very, very fortunate that I've had the kind of films that kind of have helped me fix that narrative for myself. And thank God for that. Thank God my first film was Dum Laga Ke Aisha, where I gained 40 kgs. And, you know, I think I've done every kind of thing. I've played a 70-year-old beautiful woman to, like, you know, a range of things. And I think the person that I am today who can sit here and say, I don't care, is because of those characters and all of those girls that I played, because they have given me so much strength to just battle all of this garbage that we are surrounded by.
Tamannaah, you haven't been... Tamannaah, you haven't been spared either. You faced a barrage of sexist, lewd remarks about your face, your body, and not just by the audience, but also members of your fraternity at times. Has it upset your morale in any way, or do you take that as an opportunity to shut them up with your success?
You know, the fact remains, anybody's opinion about anybody is basically a reflection of them. Absolutely. And not really a reflection of who I am. So if someone passes a comment, XYZ, on XYZ, it literally means that's them. It's really not on me. Having said that, I recently was in a public washroom, and a woman came up to me and she was like, you were nicer when you were chubby. You have lost too much weight. Can you put on some weight back? And I'm like, yeah, sure. It would just be 2 burgers away. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting that at the end, you have to like who you are. And I feel like when I was, whichever size I was, I liked myself. And I feel like that's the moment you can see yourself and feel beautiful when you look at yourself, I feel everyone thinks you're amazing and thinks you're beautiful. But the moment you don't like yourself, nobody likes you. So it's actually such a personal thing, and it's really not even about other people most of the times. So yeah, so people can have their opinions. Great. It's great on the internet. It's fun too. I mean, I keep scrolling. It's nice. It's entertainment, and I look at it like that.
But your success has spoken louder than ever. If the 1 billion plus views on Aaj Ki Raat are any indication. Tamannaah, you've redefined a playbook of special songs in films, or item numbers as the audience calls it. You're paid huge sums for those, sometimes maybe even more than what an actress is paid for a film. How do you look at these dance numbers? Do you see them as a commercial bonanza, or is dance a form of self-expression for you? Do you get an emotional high with such performances?
So for me, I'm not a trained dancer. I've never been trained in, never been trained. I didn't get the opportunity to train, actually. I love dancing, though. And I think the only way to do anything well, now including the fine jewelry that I'm creating, is to fall in love with something. And I fell in love long, long ago with dance. And it took me only 21 years to arrive at a very famous song. So people normally ask me, how long did it take you to rehearse for Aaj Ki Raat? I said, only 21 years. And that's what people see. But having said that, can I tell you one thing? This is my understanding of stardom, even as a child, okay? When my favorite cinema idols would smile or would flip their hair, it would just give me a rush in my body because it excited me. I love to see them in their glamour and their, this aura of the greatest. And I feel like essentially when you perform what we call, what everyone really gets scared to call item numbers and gets, it's songs and special songs and whatever you would like to call that. I just feel like that's a celebration of that aura. It's a celebration of this bigger, larger than life. And it's a celebration of a woman who is in her skin. And I feel like for me, that's how I looked at it. And to be honest, when I do any of my songs, I actually try to channel a certain character, which helps me kind of bring out something different in each song that I do. I really enjoy doing the songs. And I always will. I think it's a beautiful, I have my 80-year-old aunt dancing to BD Jalaile even now in every party. So I feel like those songs, they can take a list of those songs. They're the party songs. People, have fun. Shaadiyon mein hota hai, sab kidhar play hota hai. So they're timeless. In fact, people forget movies, but sometimes they don't forget songs. So it's powerful.
Absolutely. Bhumi, if dance is Tamannaa's passion, you have been a climate crusader since a young age. You've spoken about the adverse effects of climate change and how little actions can make a difference. You were named the young global leader by the World Economic Forum a couple of years ago, and you've also invested in startups providing sustainable solutions. There's also the Bhumi Foundation where all your philanthropic work is rooted. Does being a celeb help promote such a cause, and what is the kind of difference that you're going to trying to make with these initiatives?
Absolutely. I think being an actor gives me a large platform, and all of the work that I passionately feel about can reach the right audience. With Climate Warrior, you and I have spoken about it in the past as well. I started Climate Warrior in 2018, but my work within the space of climate literally happened since I was a young adult. I grew up with climate anxiety. I did not know I had it because mental health wasn't ever discussed or spoken about back then. And I just was on this mission of meeting people that felt the way I did, because I believed as a child that the world is going to reach a catastrophic point, and it has. What felt like a fictional situation when I was a child is a reality that we are living today. We are in a heat wave. We've had 40 heat waves this year. We are dealing with extreme climate situations, and it's only going to keep getting worse. And I don't want to sound like I'm being a pessimist, but this is our reality. We've ignored science and what scientists had to say and what experts had to say for many, many years. And we collectively have to make sure that we fight for our basic right, which is clean air, clean nutrition, clean water. And I think that is something that I'm extremely passionate about. And of course, being an actor has helped me communicate that. Platforms like sitting in front of such an incredible audience, and I hope that they take this message forward, because like us, the world that we grew up in, which was abundant, all of our kids have that right as well, and it's not going to happen. I recently had a little cousin of mine who had not seen a butterfly. Yes. And I was amazed. Think about it. In Bombay, when do you see butterflies? It doesn't happen. This is the reality we are living in. But anyways, being an actor gives me an opportunity to be on platforms like and whatever work that I do through Climate Warrior, any of my philanthropic work, I'm just very, very lucky that I have an audience and a community that I have built over many years that now listens to me, and I just want to keep doing the work that I'm doing.
And you've also come up with Back Bay, a self-funded premium beverage brand. What is the intention behind launching it, and how do you plan to take on the giants in this space?
Well, I have to tell you that I have entered maybe the toughest category within the FMCG world. My sister, who is my co-founder, we started off as two girls that were on a mission, very passionate about making sure that the beverage industry kind of cleans up, because it is full of nasty, sugary drinks. Ma'am here knows how corrupt, the category is. And I was kind of sick and tired of just have options that are available in plastic. I was like, there has to be more. And then we kind of like came across this packaging, and that's how our journey started as a water company. But today we are a beverage brand. We have 4 more SKUs that we are going to launch within the year. We are completely self-funded, and you know, it's a different high, man. It's maybe one of the riskiest things that I've done, but also one of the most gratifying, ballsy things that I've done. And every day is a new challenge. It's like a thriller film, because as an actor, you just reach, you act, you exit, and then of course the fate of the film has an impact on you. But as a founder, you just are thrown with these questions, and at times you don't have an answer to those questions, but I fake it and I figure it out, and I think that's how we've reached here. And it's been quite an incredible journey, and yeah, I'm just very, very proud of where we are and where Back Bay is.
But the water costs 150 for 500 ml and 200
130. Please don't increase my pricing unnecessarily. Okay, I've had enough conversation around this. Complete your question.
And 200 for 750 ml?
No,
okay.
175 for 750 ml.
What do you have to say to those who find it obnoxiously expensive for bottled water?
Kunal, I'm a premium water brand. You know what the category exists of? An Indian brand, I'm not going to mention the name, which is in glass, is for a 750 ml is for 300 rupees. So within the premium water category, I've tried my best to make the water as affordable for that consumer. You know, I've been very, very clear. I know where my water stands, and yeah, like within the category, we're actually one of the cheaper ones. Because if I have to give you a comparable of glass water, a 500 ml of Himalayan mineral water would be about 180 to 200 rupees. Glass is a lot more expensive, guys. This is also a lot more sustainable. Let me just tell you that.
Tamannaah, you turned entrepreneur this year with Tamannaah Fine Jewelry. How did you decide to enter into this space, and what are your learnings as a businesswoman so far?
My father's been a jeweler for the past 15 years. And of course, the one thing that is at home is the last thing you want to look at. You're like, kuch aur karte hai. So for many years, I did kuch aur. But while I was doing kuch aur, I also realized that I had to get ready every single day of my life. And I was often put into really uncomfortable clothes in the name of fashion. And while I was doing that, I realized, why am I doing this? So I said I need to find a more, and I feel like glamour comes very naturally to me. I want to wake up looking glamorous. I don't want this process to be this 3-hour process, which it actually is. But so I felt that, and I feel like every girl should just be able to, or man, should be able to just put on fine jewelry and not have to take off their jewelry every time. So I started to build this while I would style myself, and I would realize, oh, I need this, but I don't have this. And I went to retail stores, many retail stores, many brands, the biggest brands in our country. And I noticed that only when I went abroad and then I found some international brands, they were the only ones kind of making that kind of jewelry that can be worn every day, but also to a occasion. Indian brands still serviced your very traditional, they operated very traditionally, but they also just serviced your weddings and functions and special occasions. So there was a lot when it came to traditional Indian jewelry. We're great at heritage. We have the best craftsmanship in the world. And I think we churn out very, very ornate beauty very easily, very effortlessly. But I felt like something that could make someone feel like, oh, this jewelry is like an arm and leg of mine. Like it becomes a part of you. I feel like that jewelry did not exist within the Indian retail space. Yes, so what people did mostly is they went to their home jeweler, because in our country, we all have home jewelers. So when we like a piece from, say, Cartier or Bulgari, we would be like, isko copy kar do, because why not? Because hum kar sakte hain aur hum bahut acha karte hain. But the point is that why not an Indian brand that has a strong design language, gives you fashion, gives you style, gives you volume, because all I saw in terms of bold gold was temple jewelry in India. But we all dress up in so many different ways. We're sometimes Westernly dressed, sometimes we are Indianly dressed. We have such a variety and we're always so eclectic. So I wanted to do bold gold and natural diamond jewelry within my space. So yeah, that's what I started to build. I had the luxury of production with my father. So my father basically helped me produce all the pieces. So I started making one piece, and then of course a team was built. And this has all been the work of 2.5 years, and here we are. We launched this January. My learnings are that once you become an entrepreneur, you have to face every single fear of your life all the time. Whatever you ran away from becomes everyday reality. And the only way is to face that reality. And yeah, you're the head. I mean, from the pin to the biggest thing that goes into a retail space, I had to figure it out myself because I didn't have any reference point, and also the genre I chose. I truly think that India can wear fine jewelry differently, and that's what I tried to build. And I felt like it was not about just building a brand, but also building a retail space where people can easily shop it. So today we sell online, and we have a retail space, of course, and I hope that the retail business is what I want to really work on and hopefully have it all over the country and hopefully globally too.
So what's your investment philosophy? What kind of an investor are you?
I'm a Sindhi. I don't know if that says much about me. मुझे मतलब पैसा बनाना is part of the blood. So with I just find at the end a business. I mean, I'm not that person. I'm like, I love passion and all that. I love all that I do for a living. But I feel like it's very important to make sure your business makes money. And so we do everything that helps us make money.
Lovely. On that note, I think we can end this conversation. Kudos to both of you all. You all are both self-made women.
Thank you.
Who've created your own identity with your hard work and determination. We wish you all the best. Thank you, Bhumi. Thank you, Tamannaah. Lovely speaking with you all.